My heart shattered when I walked across the stage and my parents weren't there. They chose her, my sister, over me. Her apartment mattered more than my graduation. But what happened next when my face appeared on the national news would change everything. I wasn't just a forgotten daughter anymore. I was a headline. My name is Lainey. And today, the day of my graduation, everything changed. I stood backstage, heart racing, a smile plastered on my face that felt so fake I almost couldn't bear it. My entire life had led to this moment. 4 years of sleepless nights doing everything I could to be perfect. I was finally about to walk across that stage, and for once I thought, no. I knew my parents would be there, cheering me on, but they weren't. Instead, they were at Rachel's new apartment, the one she'd just moved into because she was starting her life, you know? And in that moment, I realized I wasn't even worth a minute of their time. The apartment mattered more than their own daughter walking across that stage. Your family's supposed to be here, right? I heard one of my classmates ask me as they walked by. Their voice seemed so distant, like I wasn't even standing in the same room. Yeah, I managed to say, forcing a smile. They're coming. They're just ... late. But they weren't. They weren't coming at all. As I stood there, I thought about everything I'd done for them, everything I'd given up. I had been the one who kept everything together, okay? I never asked for anything. I just kept going, even when they barely acknowledged I existed. And now, on the biggest day of my life, they weren't here. I heard my name called Lainey Peterson. I walked out, alone. The whole auditorium was filled with applause, but all I could hear was the deafening silence in my head. My heart broke with every step I took across that stage. I reached the podium, took my diploma, and smiled. But it wasn't a real smile. It was a mask. It's a mask I'd been wearing for years. I walked off the stage, past my classmates who were still cheering, still looking at their families with pride. But there was no one for me, no one waiting, no one who cared. I found a quiet corner backstage and sank to the floor. The tears came then, but I didn't let them fall. I wiped them away quickly, frustrated with myself for feeling so weak. I should have been used to it by now, right? But I wasn't, and it hurt more than I ever thought it would. I pulled out my phone and checked the time again. Still nothing, no messages, no calls. It was then that I realized I'd been fighting my whole life for approval from people who would never give it. They'd never seen me. Not really. Not for who I was. Not for the person I had become. And in that moment, I understood something deep inside me. I needed to stop trying. I needed to stop trying to win their love. I wasn't going to change for them. I wasn't going to keep fighting for their attention, their approval, their love. But where did I go from here? How could I move on when everything I'd worked for had been about surviving their indifference? I felt lost. But something inside me stirred. Maybe it was time to stop surviving. It's been weeks. It's been weeks since graduation, and I still can't shake the feeling of being invisible. My parents act like nothing ever happened. It's like they've just moved on, and I'm stuck in this constant loop of disappointment. Rachel's everywhere, every family gathering, every dinner. She's always been the golden child, the one they couldn't praise enough. You know, Rachel's been doing so well lately. My mom says one night, as we sit at the kitchen table, she's really taken responsibility for everything. I sit there, forcing my fork to push the food around my plate. I want to scream. I want to tell them that I've been busting my ass for years doing everything right, never asking for a thing, and this is how I'm treated. But I stay quiet. I always stay quiet. I glance at Rachel, sitting across the table, her smile so fake it almost hurts to look at. I know what she's doing. She's loving every minute of this, every second she gets to be the one in the spotlight. Dad, Mom, I think I'll head out tonight, I say, trying to stand up for myself in the only way I know how. I need space. Can't keep pretending like everything's fine. Rachel tilts her head, her eyes sharp. Really just gonna leave like that? Mom and Dad were talking about moving me into a new apartment. It's bigger, nicer, way more convenient than this place. For when I get my job. I don't say anything. My stomach twists, and I fight the urge to choke down the words that are threatening to spill out. But I can't help it. I'm suffocating here. Every compliment for Rachel, every piece of praise, is just another slap in the face. I never saw me. Not really. Lainey, my dad says from the couch, his voice casual as he sips his coffee. We're thinking of helping Rachel get settled into that apartment soon. I think she's ready to start that new chapter. I almost choke on my own breath. I feel my heart hammering in my chest. It's like they've just erased me from the equation altogether. We can't have Lainey moving into the city yet. She's not ready. The words hit me like a slap. My eyes snap to my dad, and for a second, everything goes cold. I hear the words, but they don't make sense. How could they? How could he say that? Not ready? What does that even mean? Something inside me snaps. I want to shout, to scream, to tell them how everything I've ever done has been about proving I'm worthy of their love, their respect. But all I feel now is rage. And for once, I'm not going to stay quiet. I stand up, my chair scraping against the floor. You're right, I say, my voice shaking with anger. I'm not ready. But I'm done trying to make you think I am. I can feel the air shift in the room. My mom's eyes widen and Rachel's face falters for a split second before she pulls it back into a smug smile. But I'm not looking at her anymore. I'm looking at the parents who've always dismissed me. It's always chosen Rachel over me. You've always believed in her more than me, I say, my voice low, steady now. And you've always made it clear that I don't matter. They sit. They're silent, like they never expected me to say it out loud. Like they never thought I'd fight back. Well, now I know, I add, my eyes hardening. And I'm done. I turn and walk out, slamming the door behind me. And for the first time in my life, I don't care what they think. It's been days since I walked out of that house, and the anger inside me hasn't settled. I should feel relief, but there's still this ache, this emptiness where I used to find the need for approval. It's like a hole I can't seem to fill. But I'm sticking to my resolve. I'm done letting them control my worth. Then something unexpected happens. I'm sitting on my couch, scrolling through my phone when the notification pops up. It's a link to a news story, and the headline hits me like a punch in the gut. Lainey Peterson speaks out against school bullying and neglect. What? I freeze, my thumb hovering over the screen. I click it, and suddenly, I'm staring at my own face on national news. I can barely breathe as I watch myself. Years ago, in an interview about the bullying I endured back in high school, the interviewer talks about the years of torment, the neglect from teachers, the emotional abuse I suffered, and how I eventually found the strength to speak out. The piece paints me as some sort of hero, the girl who finally stood up for herself. After being forgotten by everyone who should have cared, I feel numb. I never wanted this. But here it is, my story, spilling out into the world. I'm not Lainey, the forgotten daughter, anymore. I'm Lainey, the one who overcame, the one who survived. I don't know how it happened, but the story spreads fast. People start commenting, sharing, reaching out. Messages flood my inbox, people offering support, telling me they've been through similar struggles. It's overwhelming, but for the first time in a long time, I feel seen. And then my phone rings. I hesitate, staring. At the screen, it's my mom. I almost ignore it. But something pulls me to answer. Hello? My voice sounds distant, like I'm speaking through a fog. Lainey, sweetheart, we saw the news. My mom says, her voice trembling. We didn't know. I cut her off before she can finish. You didn't know? Really, you didn't know? What I went through, or maybe you just didn't care. Please, just listen. No, I snap. I've been listening to you my whole life, and I'm done. You don't get to pretend like you care now. You didn't show up for me. When? I needed you the most. There's a long pause, and then she whispers, Lainey, please, goodbye, Mom. I hang up before she can say anything more. I want to be strong. I do. But the voice in the back of my head, the one that's always wanted their approval, it's still there. It's hard to shut it out. It's hard to stop hoping they'll change, that they'll finally see me. But I can't go back. Not now. I've already let go. I glance at the hundreds of messages from strangers, from people who felt the same way I have. People who understand. And for the first time, I feel like I'm part of something bigger than the empty house I left behind. I'm not Lainey, the girl they never noticed. I'm Lainey, the one who found her voice. And maybe, just maybe, I'm starting to believe I deserve more than just the scraps they've given me. I never expected to be here, sitting across from my parents, having this conversation. But after everything, the silence, the indifference, the years of waiting for them to notice I'm done, I've been holding on to the hope that they'd change, that they'd see me for who I am. But I'm finally starting to understand. That's never going to happen. I take a deep breath and sit down at the kitchen table. It's quiet, too quiet. And I feel my heart beating in my throat. Mom, Dad. I start, my voice steady. But there's this weight in my chest I can't shake off. I think it's time we talk about everything that's happened. My mom shifts in her seat, her hands wringing together. Lainey, we didn't realize how much we hurt you, she says softly, her voice wavering. I let out a bitter laugh. You didn't realize? Really? How many times did I have to prove myself before you saw me? I lean forward, my eyes locking with hers. You never saw me, Mom? Not really. My dad doesn't say anything at first. He looks at the table, his face unreadable. But I can feel his guilt thick in the air between us. We weren't perfect, he says after a long pause. But we thought we were doing what was best. We didn't know ... No, I interrupt, my voice growing louder now. You didn't know because you never tried. You never asked how I felt. You never cared enough to listen. My mom's eyes start to water. She reaches across the table, her hand trembling. Lainey, we're sorry. Please, don't leave us like this. But her apology feels hollow, like it's been rehearsed. Like it's just the words they think I need to hear. I don't feel relief. I don't feel any of the forgiveness I thought I might want. Instead, it just makes me angry. All those years of silence, and now they think a few words will make it all better. I don't need your apology, I say, my voice sharp. What I needed was for you to see me, to believe in me when it mattered, to show up when I was struggling, but you never did. I feel the tears welling up, but I fight them back. This isn't about crying anymore. This is about moving on. It's about knowing I can't keep fighting for their approval. You've always chosen Rachel over me. I continue, my voice breaking, and I'm tired of living in her shadow. I'm tired of being the one who's ignored. Sweetheart, we know. Stop, I say, my hand holding up to stop them. I'm done. I can't keep hoping that you'll change. You've had years, and you never saw me. But I see myself now. Spent my whole life trying to fit into your mold. But I'm done. I don't need you to tell me I'm worth something. I know that now. My mom starts to speak, but I stand up before she can. It's the last time I'm having this conversation with you. I say, my voice firm. I'm not your little girl anymore. I'm not the one who needs your approval to feel good enough. I'm walking away from this, from you. My dad looks up at me, his face filled with regret. But I don't care anymore. I don't need their guilt. I don't need their apologies. I'm done, I repeat, turning to walk away. And for the first time, I'm okay with that. I step out the door, I feel the weight lift off my shoulders. I'm not tied to their expectations anymore. My value doesn't come from them. It never did. I'm finally free.